You already know what time it is. Here is my 1 hour workout. Yes, yes, yes. First things first, after stretches, you have to open up them hips. So I go right over to the hip abduction machine and go. My first real exercise is hip thrust. Y'all see that pulse? You got to pulse. You have to feel it. You have to. This is how you should feel after. Leave everything out there. Then we're going to do some RDLs. Same concept. You want to feel that stretch in your butt. Then we got Bulgarians. Y'all know I hate Bulgarians, but I know y'all see that form. I know you see that butt touch that foot. That is the only time I really feel it in my butt, y'all. I'm going to be super honest. Last but not least, we're going to do them cable kickbacks. This is a staple. And that is the end of my hour-long workout. Waist is on slim in that pump. Well, y'all see it. Bye.
I get so many questions about step-ups. I prefer to do them on cables. I always want to start with our weaker, less dominant side, especially if you have an imbalance. Start with a weaker, smaller side. So that's my right leg. First things first, you want to have a platform that's about knee height. Obviously, this is a little below. If you need to add a 45 or whatever on top, do that. So this gives me a little bit of height, not as much as I need though. Maybe I should add another 45, but it's fine. Gonna get your handle. As you can see, I have attached it to the actual handle because it's a little too long. So that's another thing. If you can't get full range of motion, could be your handle. First things first, weight in opposite hand, opposite leg working. Get set up, foot squared to the machine, a little off center, working side. My arm is what's holding on. And then you're gonna make sure you're at a 90-degree angle when you step up. Okay, it really starts like from the top though. So you're gonna focus on stepping back and getting that full stretch for your glutes and then back up. This is a slow movement. You're not pushing off that back leg at all. Get it deep in there. Use your leg to lift yourself up. What you do not want to be doing, pushing off the back leg. We're not doing that. You're going slow and literally hinge yourself back. Push back, keeping the knee to your ankle. You're also not pulling yourself up with this. This is literally just to stabilize a little bit better.
Girls, if your hyperextensions look like this, and you're trying to target your glutes, here's how to fix it. So instead of having your legs straight and your feet pointing forward, we want to turn our feet out slightly and have a slight bend in our knee. And you'll probably need to adjust the pads lower to get that knee bend. Now that we've got the form down, go ahead and grab your weight. Here, we want to keep our hips tucked in and our back from arching. Round your back slightly, keep your head neutral, pull the weight into your chest, and lift.
Alright, skanks. I'm just going to give you some tips on step-ups, just because sometimes I see girlies making a couple mistakes that I just want to clear the air with. For glute bias, you're going to be hinging at the hips, going all the way down, leaning over. And then for quad, you want your back to be pretty straight and you're going straight down. See the difference? So a couple of mistakes that I see girlies doing is not having a high enough bench. My rule of thumb for how high the bench or the box should be is stick your foot up. You want a 90-degree angle. What I see a lot on this app is that the girlies are doing these short little platforms. What they don't realize is that's gonna hit their quads rather than glutes. The whole point of a glute bias step up is you're getting such a big stretch with the height difference. I can't see if I'm 90 degrees in the camera, but whatever, this should be fine. And then another mistake is the girlies not leaving enough room in between your box and the wall to lean over. So just make sure you have, what is that? A foot. I would say leave a foot. If you are one of those people that really struggle with not pushing your foot off the ground when you're coming back up, I would suggest pointing your toes towards the sky and only touching your heel to the ground. That will completely prevent you from pushing off, therefore it will make it more glute bias. So I prefer to hold the dumbbell in the opposite side of the leg that I'm working, just because this throws off the balance, so the glutes are forced to work. Don't push off the back foot, lean over, hinge, come back up, lean over, hinge.
saw the biggest difference in my glutes when I actually started prioritizing that glute medius and minimus instead of just doing all of the generic glute max focus workouts. So I'm going to teach you one of my absolute favorite accessories for building that shelf. First step obviously is all the way to the ground. I like using a plate, and you're gonna put the plate or where you're standing a little to the side of your working leg. So first leg, weaker side. I'm doing my right leg, so I'm gonna do it a little off to the right. Make sure it's lined up. I know every plate's different. Make sure it's lined up so your heel actually has a place to sit. It takes a little adjusting sometimes. You just have to figure out what's best for you. Arms length away, a little to the side of the working leg. So we want this angle where our leg is literally being pulled back over our other leg. Then you're gonna throw on your ankle straps. These are my brands. If you wanna shop them, they're in my bio. Attach your working side, weaker leg first. Put it on a weight that is challenging to do 6 to 12 reps. If you can do any more than that, you know, up the weight. Kick out, I'm gonna be going through my standing leg and back, creating a diagonal kick back, not a straight back kick back. We are keeping our core engaged throughout the whole movement. A lot of the mistakes you make are you're using momentum or you're kicking back way too far. I see a lot of girls go like this with their kickbacks. Okay, engage your core, and you're only kicking back to where your glutes actually working and not when you start to bend your back. This is further than my actual glute extension or the glute range of motion that I have. That right there is as far as I can go actually using my glute.
Let me see it. Good. Now rack it. Rack it. How does your lower back feel?
A little tight.
Exactly, because you go all the way in. Because a lot of times females think it gives you more of a glute stretch, but the whole idea of a squat is to keep the bar in the middle of your body. So when you come up, down into the squat, you sit into the squat, and then you drive up. Because if we're here, you start using your lower back more. So you want to come right underneath the bar, right? Brace your core, and then drive down, and then up. And a lot of times people let it sit here. You don't let it sit here. Let it sit on your traps. Okay. All right? So let me see it.
Well, you're too small.
Come on. Good. And then brace your core and sit into the squat. Don't initiate with your hip. Brace, hinge slowly, and then drive into the squat. Way better. Good. Brace. Good. Good. Up. Nice. Good form, Tanya. Come on. Up. Perfect. Good. All the way. Now rack it. That was perfect. That was perfect. Hey, and also, when you're setting up, you want these rings right here, you put your hands right on the rings, so it automatically puts you in the middle, so you don't try to adjust. So when you're here, you come straight up, you put your head right in the middle, and then you drop down into the squat. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.